Hello guys, welcome to my channel. In this video, I would like to share my Begetter DPS CTFE build. As you can notice, there are only a few DPS Begetter out there. It may not be the meta job right now, but this class can deal some pretty decent damage. Also, it is good for crowd and ground control as well, which are really important during PvP and Guild Wars. Okay, to start this guide, first we will talk about the equipment. We will start with the weapon. For the weapon, Acid Touch is the best option for this build because of the effects it gives, like increasing the damage of Acid Terror and also increasing the skill multiplier of Improved Acid Demonstration. We need to know that as we increase the damage of Acid Terror, it will increase the damage of Improved Acid Demonstration. And as we increase the damage of IAD, it will increase the damage of Fire Expansion and Crazy Throw. For the enchant, our priority is getting Morale or Ignore Death. But you can also use Sharp Blade with PDI. For the cards, you can use 2 Firelord Kaho Star card. You can also use 2 LOD card. Or if you don't have budget, you can use Hydra card. For the offhand, Venom Fang Gloves is still the best offhand for this build because of its combo effect with Acid Touch, which is plus 15% IAD damage, and also it gives plus 5% IAD damage as well. Priority enchant is Armor Breaking or Penetration. Other options can be PDI, Damage Reduction, and Tenacity for survivability. For the cards, personally I use Mark card or Basilisk card. You can also use Tara Frog Star card. For the armor, Bright Armor is the best option because of this effect. Minus 0.5 seconds fixed cast time when Leaf is present. So it is a must to summon Leaf as your homunculus to trigger this effect. You can maximize Bright Armor especially if you have a double homunculus rune to trigger the other effects as well. For the enchant, our priority is Morale or Ignore Death. Other options can be HP percent, PDI, and Status Resist. For the card, for offensive purposes, you can use Moonak Star for Ignore Death. For me personally, I use Ghost Ring card and I just switch cards depending on the situation. Argiope for Poison, Wind for Dokebi, Fire for Pasana. You can also use Tara Frog card. For the garment, White Duke's Manchu or Ancient Cape is the best option we can use because it will give us Ignore Death, attack percentage, and plus skill damage percent. For the enchant, PDI is our priority. Other options can be HP percent, Status Resist, and Divine Magic Reduction. For the card, I'm using either Jack card or Orc Zombie Star. In the future, I'm planning to get a Mastering Star card for more PDI. For the shoes, we have 2 options. First is Rune Boots or St. Mary's Cloth Shoes, which gives 16% attack and magic attack at plus 15, which is around 1.2 to 1.3B. The other option is Rescuer Shoes or Soft Sole Hiking Boots, which is solely for Alchemist job, which gives 4% Ignore Death and 7% Pen at plus 15, which is around 270 to 280M. There's pros and cons to it. With Rune Boots, it is way more expensive, but you can use it for other job, unlike Rescuer Shoes. It is much cheaper, but only Alchemist job can use it. For the enchant, priority is PDI or HP percent. Other options can be Divine Magic Reduct or Status Resist. For the card, Endgame card goal is Moonlight Flower Star card or Edgar Star, depending on your gameplay. Budget meal card is Ferrous card. For the accessory, we have multiple options. First is Kraken's Eye or EOD at plus 15, which gives 20% magic attack, or Tiber's Hand or Orleans Gloves at plus 12, which gives 20% magic attack, which is cheaper. Also, we can use Flame Feather or Flame Ring at plus 15, which gives 20% fire damage. For the enchant, priority Sharp Blade with PDI. And for the cards, it will depend on your gameplay. Personally, I use Smokey and Horong Star. You can also use Raid Star card. For the headgear, I'm using Dr. Mu, and the card that I'm using right now is Mistress Star card. Other options are Starlight Ship, Kabuto, and Norma. For the enchant, priority is Crit Resist. For the card, you can also use Orc Hero, Audhumbla, or Nightmare card. For the face, I'm using Monoculars. Other options are Winter Crown for skill damage and Goblin Leader Mask. Priority enchant is Moral or Ignore Death. You can also get PDI. For the mouth, I'm using Dreamweave Silk. Other option is Light Food for skill damage. Priority enchant is Crit Resist as well. For the back, I'm using the TTL Wings right now for the movement speed and the penetration. But before that, I was using Starlight Sweetie. Other options are One Eye Captain for pen and ignore death, and Brilliant Love for fire damage. Priority enchant is Moral or Ignore Death, but you can also get max HP %. For the tail, I'm using J-Date for the penetration and the tail whip effect, but you can also use Rainbow Wishing Whale for the added physical damage. Priority enchant is Sharp Blade, which is hard to get, but you can also get max HP % or PDI. For the stat allocation, it will really depend on you and how you play, but this is how I distribute my stats. Priority stats are Strength for attack, Int for magic attack, and Vit for survivability. We also need enough dex so we can no-cast our ground skills. In the future, I will reallocate my stats when I get a Mastering Star card, so I will pump my luck for added physical damage. For the skill allocation, you can go about it in two ways. So this is the first one, which is kinda the pure breaker type build. In the merchant skill tree, the only important skill here is loud exclamation. So it's up to you where you will distribute the other skill points. In the alchemist skill tree, priority is maxing Axe Hammer Mastery and Acid Terror. You can also max the Call Homunculus and Resu Homunculus depending on what Homunculus you will summon. In the creator skill tree, priority is maxing IAD and all the skills relating to breaking the equipment of enemy. You can put one level on Hellplant for vision during PvP and Guild Wars. In the genetic skill tree, we need to max Far Expansion, Stable Potion, and Genetic Modification for more HP. The other skill build is kinda the hybrid build. This is the skill build I use during WoE and PvP. Again, in the merchant skill tree, the only important skill here is loud exclamation. So it's up to you where you will distribute the other skill points. In the alchemy skill tree, it is still priority to max Axe Hammer Mastery and Acid Terror. But I just put 2 skill points on Call Homunculus since I just use Leaf and Amistyr. In the creator skill tree, priority is maxing IAD, but I also max Homunculus Strength 2 and Hellplant to increase the damage of Hellplant because I use Hellplant a lot. In the genetic skill tree, we need to max Fire Expansion, Unstable Potion, and I also put on Crazy Weed and Mandragora Howling for ground control and crowd control. the Begetter skill tree, I assume that you have a lot of time quicksand, so you can just max all the skills here. For the runes, here are the runes that I'm using. Dark Thorn rune to trigger Thorn traps and abnormal status chance of Hellplant. Void Summon rune for W Monculus. Chaos Fusion rune for Fire Expansion. Second and third line are really important. Merging Curse Star rune for increased Taboo Fusion probability and added max HP % as well. Gene Modification for Crazy Throw to trigger Gene Destroy. Third line is key. And Berserk Flame for IAD. Second line is very important as well. For Oracle Mirror, for offensive, I'm using Fire Axe for additional fire damage. But my dream is to have plus 15 combustible knife for penetration. And for defensive, I'm just using Death Cat armor. Okay guys, that's about it. I hope I was able to help you learn more about the Begetter job. I know that this class is not only for farming, but we are also important during PvP and especially Guild Wars. If you have any questions, feel free to comment or message me directly and would love to help you. Thank you guys for watching my video. Maraming salamat po ulit.